Hey guys, what's going on? I tried to turn on the chat so that I could see it over there, but it's still too far away. But thank you all for showing up. I think you can see my face. What's happening? So this is some concentrates we had from last summer. I left it out on the back deck and got all dried out. And then I put it away and forgot about it. Well, I refound it. So we are going to find the gold that's in here. If there is any, I don't know if there is some, but if I remember correctly, we were finding gold that day. So this was some that we brought back. And when we brought it back, I put it in the garage and I lost it. My garage is kind of chaotic. But so we're gonna get to this. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of walk over there and check out the chat, and then I will come back. But we are going to pan into a pan and then pan that pan back into a pan so that we can double check our work. I'm not going to do all this at once. I'm going to probably do a quarter at a time. And then if you guys have time to hang out, we are going to dry it out. And when we dry it out, then we are going to see what we come up with. I can kind of guess just by looking at it when we're done. So I will be right back and we will get to panning this out. Give me 30 seconds. All right, can you all hear me? We've got Juniper Junkie, NG Coins Love, Mike Wolf, HD Shovelhead, Gier, he can't wait. CNC Coins, NG Coins Love. Nice to see you all in here. So I'm not going to be able to watch the chat too closely, but we're going to knock it out. And then we're going to weigh it up. I have a little bit of residue in this snuffer bottle, so we're going to snuff it up. Then we're going to put it in the vial after weighing it up. All right, so let's get on this. I'm just going to pull this out of here. I'm going to add about a quarter of this to it. Yeah, we'll go a little more. Remember, stratification is your friend. And a little bit of jet dry in here. You guys can see the bubbles floating. That will take care of the floating gold. We'll add some water. I'll move it around. Pretty muddy stuff. I think we got this from the High Banker last summer, but I just don't remember. So we'll see. This is something you can do in your front room during the winter when it's snowing out. You have some concentrates left over. I do all my concentrates that I end up with either in a little small High Banker that I have or right here. Me and Flipside, we've probably done this 100 times right here in the kitchen. So what I'm going to kind of do is I let the mud float off the top a couple times. Then I'll add some more water. Then I'll let the mud float off a couple times, and you can see how we're getting down to the granite now and getting rid of the mud. And then the big rocks will stay right on top. And remember, I will repan it again. You can see the granite. So I always pan into a second pan so I can repan. Doesn't look like there will be a lot of black sands in here. You kind of have to assume you know what you're doing so that you're not paranoid about losing gold. And I'll do this about one more time. Get some more of those big rocks off of there. Okay, we haven't got down to the nitty gritty yet, but I want you to see. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Can you guys see those two flakes of gold there? In that black sand? They look like they're really light. Maybe they might be flat gold and they're wanting to float a little bit, but that jet dry is not going to let them float. It breaks the surface tension of the water. So let's shake them down one more time. Let's pan it out a little bit more. I'm going to try to do this in reverse so you guys can see what's going on. So now you see we can't see that gold because it's below that black sand. And remember, you can always repan it. Looks like those are the only two specks that we had. Well, they're not really specks. They're pretty good sized gold. And you see by tapping that, I drug those chunks of gold right up to the edge. So now what I'll do is I'll just get my snuffer out. Remember, once your snuffer has water in it, you can kind of just let it do its thing. The gold's not going to come out of there because the gold would have to go, it would have to make a bullet shot right back up the straw. So I'm just going to pull these two out of there. I get a little bit of water down there, not a lot. And I'm not worried about the black sand right now. My little mini high banker that I have was made here in Colorado about an hour from me. The guy custom makes them for the gold that's here in Colorado. And I'll have to talk to him and see if he wants me to put a link down below. So now all of our original dirt's in here. It's not laying in the pan. Remember, we dropped the mud off over here and then everything else is falling in to here. And then I have another pan that I have. It's not a pan, it's a big flat bucket that I pour all this into. And then when I'm all done with it, a month from now when I get more, or 2 months from now when I get more, I'll run it all through the little mini high banker in the backyard. There's a video out of that high banker, so you guys might want to check that out also. It's a pretty neat deal. I carry a little motorcycle battery with me when I use that thing instead of a big old battery. So we'll sink this again. We'll drop the mud off of this. We'll do it again. Drop the mud off. So now I'm pushing everything towards those ripples. Boom, 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 boom. And then all the other stuff will stay on top. All the lights will be up there. I'll tap it a little bit. And then I'll knock some more off of there. Now, notice this. Most of my heavies are laying right in here. They didn't really get out here. So that's what we're doing, is we're just making sure everything stays in that first cut of the pan. That's about right for the next look. And I just kind of look at the overall of what's going on with the pan. Now, flip side says I shouldn't stick my finger in there because the grease off of your finger, the oils, will cause your gold to float. I don't know, probably, but I don't listen so good. There's 4 colors there. So it's pretty amazing how it migrates there. And then what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of water. And then I'll tap it. I'll get some water down there and I'll suck it up. Now remember, if you guys are dealing with a lot of fool's gold isn't necessarily tricky to deal with because if you don't have sunlight, fool's gold will not shine. So if you throw a shadow on it, it won't shine. Gold will always shine. So let's double check this one more time. That's the rest of the black sand. I don't see any gold in there. Now, real fine flour gold, you have to really take your time with it, but we're finding kind of chunky stuff. So I don't see anything in there. Let's do it one more time. Pull it up. Pull it up again. And then flip side and I, sometimes we have a competition. And she'll get like a cup of concentrates, and I'll get a cup of concentrates. And she'll run it through, and then I'll double check her. And whatever I find in hers goes towards mine, and whatever she finds in mine goes towards hers. And we kind of have a little competition on if we can find gold in each other's pan at the end of it. So, see, real quick, real to the point. I always suggest doing it in a secondary pan. A lot of times what I do is when I get to this point, I'll just pan that stuff out of there. And now see what I'm dealt with? I'll move it down one more time. I only found 2 there. So let's suck them up. Last one. It really doesn't matter how bad you beat this thing up. That gold's going to stay right down there where you're constantly moving it up against those edges. See that? I don't really even have to worry about what got there or what got there. It's going to be right there. I don't see any gold in there, which is kind of strange because it was the last pan. Usually gold hangs out in the last pan. I don't even see a piece of flour gold in there. Okay, so this is what I'll do. Get it all rinsed out of here. Move this one over. Sink that one. Move my dirt around inside this pan. Get that gold to fall down to the bottom because we're going to double check now. This pan's pretty cool because it has small riffles and it has big riffles. I always use the big riffles first. Let's see how good my work was. There's my black sands. Now let's see if there's any gold in there. I see a little heavy there. There's something there is a heavy. And I'll show it to you. Super, super small. It's right here in front of my snuffer. Can you guys see that? That little teeny speck. That's really the only thing that I found. All right. I'm going to check the chat real quick. There was some gold that I left in this bottle from a previous. I think I did it live the last time. So let me see if I can get it all in one spot for you guys. This was all the same concentrates. And if you ever find moss in a river, like tree roots or shrubs, make sure you squeeze that thing like a sponge, and really clean it out, because gold sticks in that stuff. So it looks like we have about 20 pieces from what was in the jar previous, and now so now that I got all that junk out of there, that one's a real heavy little chunk. This one right here is really heavy because it will fall to the edge of the pan. That's what I ended up with. All right, I'm going to check the chat real quick. Flip side, no, these are concentrates we had from last summer. Yep, panning battle in the future. Can you guys hear me all the way over here? Let me know. All right, very cool. So I'm just going to scroll back in the chat real quick. Then I'm going to dry that stuff up and let's weigh it up and see what we got, okay? Big Viking, what's going on? Nice to see you in here. Juniper Junkie, what's happening, my bud? Getting a little bit of spring fever here. Jeep and John? Hey, Corey W., what's going on? So a little bit later, I'm going to be doing a silver pour for It's Me Brian, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make my own mold. I'm going to grab a piece of lumber and I am going to router a heart in a piece of lumber. I'm going to throw a little bit of fire at that piece of wood and get it blackened up, and then I'm going to try to pour a heart out of a piece of wood for It's Me Brian. I think that would be better than buying a mold and giving him a heart that everybody can get. Gold is gold, yes. Okay, so let me head over there. Let's pull that gold out of there. Like little soldiers all lined up. So I'm going to add a little bit of water on this side. I'm going to let it roll around to that side and not disturb it. And you guys check it out. That one little piece is still a holdout. It's right there. That little piece of flour gold. Got him. Still a little bit of black sands there. I'm looking in the bottom of my bottle. I don't see anything. Trying to get rid of as much black sand as I possibly can because it dries easier for one. We can get the thing weighed up in a flash. Get it, flash in the pan. We got that one little flake that's running around in there, especially because I use tap water. There's no jet dry in here. See, that one wants to walk out of there because it's so heavy compared to the others. All right, so what I do is I just put my gold on a dollar bill and then I let it dry. So we're going to get it onto the bill. And that one little piece of gold is still running around in there, but I haven't lost it. It's still there. It's a nice little hole. By moving it across this pan like this, I am also getting the water out of there. When you use tweezers with gold, be very careful not to over press your tweezers because it'll go pick and you'll never find it again. So there's a pan. Nothing in there. It's all laying right here on this dollar bill. Now, for time's sake, I'm not going to let this thing sit underneath a light or anything, but I'm going to show you the gold. I'm going to drop it in this thing after I tear out my scale. Oh no. Give me 1 second. So it's going to be a little heavy because of water. But let's put it in there and see what we got. Nothing up my sleeve. 0.0045 ounces. 1.94 grains. .0041. I don't know what that comes out to, but it's probably $4 or something. I don't know. 0.0041. All right, guys. So that's my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll show you this. This is how you can make your gold really feel like you did something. Put it in your jar. Add some water. Now it looks like a lot of gold. Let me see if I can do it one more time. All right, guys. I wanted to give you that. Check in a little bit later. Ring that bell so that you guys know when I'm going to pour It's Me Brian's Heart. I don't know if I'm going to router in front of you guys. I might. It's going to be loud. But I'll show you how you can pour silver with just a piece of lumber and a torch. And, of course, your little smelting dealio. But I don't have an oven anymore. I returned my oven because I thought it was just an overkill. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks. Peace out. Remember, always pay it forward.